on the chat. So feel free to type it in the chat and we can answer as they come in, or we'll set aside time at the very end of the presentation to answer those questions. I forgot to record my entire thing, but that's okay. But starting with you, James, we've got the recording going, and feel free
Stephen, thank you. Thank you so much for hosting us, and thank you so much for having us. I really am thankful for the LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce. And I'm really thankful for you and your members, most recently helping us with our survey. As you know, Danielle and her team, 35th Street Consulting, is conducting a disparity study. And I just wanted to, on behalf of Mercer County and on behalf of us, just really say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Your focus and generation on that study really helped us get a robust sample of what business owners are experiencing. So we're really happy to be here. So back in 2018, the Mercer County Executive and Board of Commissioners passed what in the state of New Jersey is called a set-aside ordinance. And the purpose of this was to take a look at our procurement and our spending across the county and make sure that we were engaging and working with small, veteran, minority, and women business enterprises. Today is a very monumental day, and I know Danielle is going to speak a little bit further about this, and she's written extensively about it, most recently in your newsletter. But today, June 1st, the state of New Jersey is waiving the fees for all designations. And I know many people listening to my voice probably run companies that fit in one of these different designations or ideas. So you have an idea. It's not just Mercer County or the city or state or municipality where you live or run your business. The entire state government handles these certifications. Federal governments are looking for your businesses to procure everything from paper clips to bridges. There's also private contractors who have contracts to build everything from airports to bridges, who would love to utilize smaller companies, not just to fill quotas and goals, but also to increase their supplier diversity for their supply chain. So there's many reasons why a small business vendor would consider these designations. So thank you very much for having Wendy, Danielle, and I as we talk about this. The state of New Jersey has what we call an SBE program, which is about a quarter or 25% of the goods and services that they procure from their purchasing departments fit businesses that fit these different categories. So what we're talking about is at the inception of your business, the time that you're incorporated, they have less than $12 million in revenue or assets under management. There's also a number of employees. I believe it's 100 or less employees as your articles of incorporation were created. So the state of New Jersey is really, really committed to taking a look at what they've contracted for, where they've spent the money, and what firms were available as they were conducting this. So like us, Mercer County, the state of New Jersey is conducting a disparity study also, which is being run by a group called Mason Tillman. And the purpose and goal is aligned very closely with ours, which is to really see, number one, where did the state public money go? And number two, were they able to use small business vendors, minority business vendors, veteran business vendors, women business vendors, and disabled vendors as they spent this capital? So, you know, we're currently conducting a disparity study now, which should help us figure out exactly where the dollars were spent and how we could do better. And that's what Danielle and her marvelous team are helping us handle now. So the next slide takes us to our current focus. There's a lot of resources that Wendy and I have uncovered through this process. So as we focus on our minority business enterprises, our women business enterprises, our vets, and small businesses, there's a lot of gaps that we're able to fill. And we have relationships with the Small Business Administration, Small Business Development Center at the College of New Jersey, for example. We have relationships with the UCEDC. All these acronyms and groups point to your federal tax or state or local tax dollars that have created these different resources. So you may need technical support. You may need training in QuickBooks. You may need help figuring out your business plan or taking a look at industry trends. All these things, we can be helpful, or we can help refer you to an office or a department that can help you answer the bids and the RFPs, because ultimately what we're talking about is engaging in state and local contracting, also providing services off contract. There's a certain bid threshold, $44,000. Things that are beneath that, we're able to get quotes from vendors such as yourselves and procure. So there's entire operations, like I said, entire departments, airports, prisons, hospitals. Our counterparts in Jersey City, for example, are doing everything from building a courthouse to running a hospital. So there's a lot of different products that I think unique small business vendors can provide. They simply just don't think about government as an employer or as an entity to go into contract with. So a big thing that we really do is we talk a little bit about our set aside program, which is one tool. I like to think of it like a tool belt of different utilities that we use. So the idea here is our Board of Commissioners and our county exec passed this ordinance, okay, saying that out of our purchasing spend, which changes from year to year, but ideally 10% of our purchasing spend needs to go to our different qualified certified businesses. So that's 30% for minority business enterprises, 30% for women business enterprises, 30% for veteran, and 10% for small business enterprises. So that's our goal, our targets. What we found in the real world is depending on information, depending on accessibility, and depending on what knowledge different business owners and entrepreneurs have, they either have attained these certifications or are unaware of it altogether. So what we're on a mission to educate vendors, to help individuals as they launch businesses to just pay attention to these different certifications. Mercer County Office of Purchasing has recently begun using a platform, a process to submit and read bids. It's called Bidnet, and it's something that brings us one step closer into the real 21st century technology. As you know, government, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball in terms of our accounting and recording. So what this is able to do is it allows our vendors in real time to take a look at our bid specs, to go in, log in, create a profile. There's no fee to take a look at the different opportunities that we have. I also highly recommend that you take a look at www.mercercounty.org. Look at our bid section. There's a section that says bids and RFPs, and believe it or not, Wendy and my department are nestled nicely in that purchasing area. Here you'll find a wealth of knowledge and information. All this information is online. It's secure. It's safe. Questions and answers are there. The bidders are able to ask questions and just have a really concise place to kind of download all this information. Again, if for some reason you can't, you can still do it through the old-fashioned mail system. You can go to our Department of Purchasing, and you can go to our website to download the bids and RFPs also. And we're optimistic. We think that this will help our vendors. We think during COVID, there's just a lot of challenges in terms of getting people to locations, and we used to have rooms filled with people that were participating in this process, and now happens remotely. So I'd like to encourage everyone to take a look at that, and to please, I'd really like to encourage you to get involved, create those profiles, and take a look at our bids and bid on projects. This here is a wonderful example of a local business, 35th Street Consulting, who was able to reach out to our office, speak with Wendy Sturgeon, who helped Danielle navigate the process with the Department of Treasury Division of Revenue. So there's a selected assisted vendor information database that we use on the government side to take a look at and to find your company. It's very important to have your information be accurate. it's very important that we keep good records, because what happens is these state certifications usually expire within 1 year. Okay, and as you can see here, it tells the viewer what the company's designation is. So in Ms. Walters' case here, you see two acronyms, SBE, WBE, and that's small business enterprise, woman business enterprise. So you understand what the state of New Jersey is saying is that any individual who owns 51% or more, who fits into these different designations, is qualified and certified to register their company for these designations. So, that's the goal. That's the spirit of it. More importantly, what Wendy and I really like is it has the contact information. It has their sales, their operation, their address, so we can verify. We can see what kind of projects they're able to bid on, what they were able to complete. And we expect, as a result of Governor Murphy and Treasurer Moyo's announcement today, we expect to see a tremendous inflow of companies that fit all these different designations, as the fees are waived and the program is now free for participants. So just another great incentive. And thank you, Danielle and Colleen, for putting this together so we can show what it looks like from our side of things. So this is a copy. I don't know, Danielle, if you want to speak more onto that subject, or
sure. Just briefly, this is my actual listing in NJ Savvy, and as James mentioned, this is my business. I'm a woman, and I am qualify as a small business enterprise. I do less than $12 million worth of work in a year. But even though those two things are true, if I had not completed the paperwork, I would not be listed in here. So this is only for people who have completed the paperwork. And one of the benefits is, as of today, June 1st, 2021, you no longer have to pay a fee to complete the certification process to get yourself listed here. And through James and Wendy, there are a number of different entities throughout New Jersey, not just in Mercer County, that will help you go step by step through the process to get your business certified and complete the paperwork correctly the first time. And they'll do it for you, or do it with you for free. And the application fee is also waived as of today. So it's a great opportunity to get your business listed as a certified business under whichever designation you may qualify for, and as many as you qualify for, so that entities like Mercer County and then also larger businesses can find you as a potential sub for whatever it is that you do. And this is the set of processes or the links to download not only the certification application, but also to double check to see if your certification is still valid and if everything in it is correct. Because just like anything else, sometimes there's mistakes, but it's up to you to fix it if you see it. As of today, it's free.
It's a great point, Danielle. I think Wendy could probably run a class on using NJ Savvy as a targeted marketing tool. Okay, this is a very powerful database that the state of New Jersey uses to manage a lot of their different vendors. There's also another program that I don't see up there on our slide today called NJ Start. Okay, but I think for your entrepreneurial knowledge, it's just a really great asset to have. I use it as I look for any company for anything in terms of official businesses registered in the state of New Jersey that have gone through the extra step of certifying with the Treasury Department. Okay, so I would really heed the advice here. Take a look at the form, see if you're registered. If you do fit these different designations, and I think we all probably do in one way, shape, or form, apply. As Danielle said, it's free starting today, so it's just another tool to differentiate yourself and to set your business out from the crowd. So That's my thinking on that. I think, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Here are some of the resources that we use. And I think earlier we spoke just briefly a little bit about the state of New Jersey's disparity study. A woman by the name of Hester Agadosi, who runs the New Jersey Office of Diversity and Inclusion, is running that and is just a phenomenal resource for all your different companies. I hope that you have a opportunity to cut and paste the links and you have them saved in your browser for contact. I think another really good asset that we use is the New Jersey Business Action Center. So as I mentioned, the counties have relationships with various other agencies and organizations who, you pay taxes for this in various ways. So the Small Business Administration is a federal administration. And what they've done is identified different areas to, for lack of a better word, set up shop. And the closest one, I believe, in Mercer County is at the College of New Jersey at the SBDC TCNJ, the College of New Jersey Small Business Development Center, run by a phenomenal woman by the name of Lillian Morrow. And she and her staff are able to meet you where you are, go over your business plans. I tell all CEOs from billion-dollar companies straight down to people just starting out, it's really worth a trip there because they're able to, number one, those registrations that Danielle and I were talking about, they can get you your SVE designation. I've seen it done in just a matter of hours on the spot, right in a computer lab. Training free, hands one-on-one assistance and guidance with your certifications, with your business plan, with your financial documents, so you can get your house in order or scale up or prepare for M&A or prepare for whatever that next goal or stage in it that your small business's growth is. So, one group that I really can't say enough about is our partners at the SBDC. And then of course there's our office, and Wendy and I are here to be a resource for you. So any questions you have, please feel free to reach out to us. I see our contact information right there. I think we should also put it in the chat to the degree that we can. And Stephen, so we're really committed. We're passionate about helping entrepreneurs. So as this is being recorded and people reach out over time with questions, please feel free to find us on mercercounty.org. You can reach out to me directly at 609-989-6212. And I pick up as many calls as I can. So thank you very much. And I just encourage you to reach out to us and think of us as a resource for your small business enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, James.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah. So I am Danielle Walters. I'm the president and owner of 35th Street Consulting. 35th Street Consulting is a Mercer County based certified New Jersey woman-owned business. And we went through the process of bidding and successfully won the project for the disparity study that is currently underway here in Mercer County. And we've done a lot of different work with other government agencies and health systems throughout the nation in addition to this. But I do want to encourage you all to consider government as a customer, because I think a lot of us don't think that way, but there's everything that government needs to buy, everything from tourism support for, visit our beaches or our capital city or any other place throughout New Jersey or elsewhere, to uniforms, laundry service for a variety of different facilities, things like that. So just because you don't build bridges or do accounting or something doesn't mean that what you have to offer isn't needed by government, the cities, the counties, or the state. So keep that in mind. We are in the process of conducting a disparity study here. And why are we doing this? We're doing it to document priority outreach for small businesses to ensure that the disparities that likely exist in terms of contracting are reduced, and there's a greater and more equitable opportunity for all businesses to be able to participate in contracting with Mercer County and other places. And it will help improve policies, remove barriers such as the fee to the applications and things like that, such as making the bidding materials and application opportunities online, things like that. And the long-term goal is to have a more equitable distribution of procurement dollars throughout our county and hopefully our state and nation. So what's comprised of a disparity study? There's a bunch of different components of it. One is a disparity analysis, which basically is a calculation of the available certified, what we call XBE businesses, which are the minority, women, veteran, disabled veteran, and also small business enterprises throughout the area. And then we compare that to the proportion of XBE businesses that were procured and did bid. Now, one of the issues there is, which you have an opportunity to bring to the forefront too, is if your business is not certified as minority or women or small or veteran owned, it will not show up anywhere as an XBE business. So it will not be included in the calculation on one side or the other, because even though you may be woman owned or minority owned or any of the other categories, if you're not certified, we can't find you in the study or for procurement opportunities. And although there is no certification in the state of New Jersey for LGBT owned businesses yet, it really helps make the case as to why that's an important thing. The more we are able to leverage and utilize the certifications that already do exist. So if you qualify for any of the other categories, I would strongly recommend, especially since you don't have to pay anymore, that you take the step to get the free help and get those certifications done. The other component of the studies too is to understand the barriers to bid participation. And many of you, I really appreciate, participated in our business owner survey that was launched earlier this year. And I'll show you some of the results and findings we have from that gathered people's experiences and impressions with the bidding process and procurement process. And then the final step is to develop a plan to increase procurement with XBE businesses in our area that address some of the needs and barriers that we've identified in the other sources. So here's some of the results from the study that we just completed. So you'll see, we had slightly more women than men business owners who participated in the study. And we had 7.91% of the businesses that participated in the study, so almost 8%, identified as an LGBTQ plus owned business, which is fantastic. I really appreciate the effort that you all put in promoting the survey here, because what that means is that 8% of the respondents are reflecting the experiences and ideas from the particular community that you are part of, without, even though the state of New Jersey hasn't recognized that as a designation yet. So I appreciate that, and we will continue to share the data that we have from this to help with, the research and the work that you are engaged in too in that direction. This also shows too, I apologize. Here we go. So these are just an example of the number of businesses that participated in the survey who have been, the green is certified, the purple is not certified, the yellow is certification in process, and the orange represents interested, but haven't started the process yet. And if you look to see, there's almost 6% of the businesses that have participated in the survey that we did in Mercer County have already been certified as LGBT businesses at the federal level. So, kudos to you for pushing that and making that possible. But you can see there's a variety of different levels and there's quite a bit of interest in having that kind of certification as well too. And you can see that there's varying degrees of people who've been certified and quite a lot of interest in general in all of the categories here. So that's telling as well. Here's an example of some of the responses we got about what's kept you from registering your business as an XBE business. And in the first and most populous categories, I didn't know about the certification, I don't know how to apply, and it's not worth the effort or the cost. As of today, June 1st, 2021, the cost has been waived. We are telling you right now about the certification and have some resources here that are free and accessible to anyone to help you apply. So I think there's great opportunity today to take advantage of those certifications and remove some of those barriers. This is an example of one of the other questions that was interesting as well, which was in financing your business, which of these sources did you use? If you look to see, the green indicates they received the full amount of the resources that were requested. Purple is received a partial amount, and the navy blue or black was denied completely. And if you look here, we see that this is really a unique year in that a good proportion of the people who applied for coronavirus related financial support for their businesses were able to secure some level of support for their businesses. But it also demonstrates too that that a good portion of people who did receive financing for their businesses still do rely pretty heavily on their own personal savings, including their home equity, to help finance their business. It also shows there's lots of room for improvement in the special loan program for small businesses, as well as in the commercial loan business too, because the levels of rejection in both of those categories are pretty substantial compared to the others. So why are we doing this? We're doing this because economic disparities and inequities have huge impact beyond just your business. Social inequities and historically disadvantaged groups have not had the same access to economic opportunities as others. So the point of this is that a rising tide lifts all boats. By removing some of the barriers, not only to financing, but also to application and the opportunity for procurement opportunities. When we remove the barriers for some, it removes the barriers more equitably for many. And so it will hopefully create a greater opportunity for even more businesses to be able to participate in government contracting opportunities. The certification process creates opportunities not just for your business, but it has to be done correctly, and you do have to stay up to date with it. And so those responsibilities are yours, and they will always be yours to a certain extent, but there are resources available to help you. One of the reasons why it's really helpful to businesses to participate in government contracting is, yes, the procurement process is long, and no, it is not easy, but there is support to be able to help you with it. And one of the items that is important to keep in mind with government processing or government contracting is, if you are selected as a vendor for a project, you can rely on those payments, whereas that is not always the case with a commercial business situation. Those investments are reliable sources of income for your business that you can leverage to build other things for your business on, because you have a guaranteed start and a stop and a dollar amount. And you can have faith that you will be paid what you have agreed to in that contract. And that is not the case in every situation in business. So that is an opportunity for you by considering government as a customer. So thank you for the opportunity. Stephen?
Yes. So I know we just covered quite a fair amount of information. I want to open it up for questions from any of the attendees and see if there's anything that Danielle or James or Wendy can answer for you. So feel free to just unmute your line and ask any questions that you might have. All right. Well, if there are no questions, no need to worry. James has shared his and Wendy's contact information in the chat. We've recorded this webinar and it will be posted to our YouTube channel, and we'll share the links in our newsletter. We'll also share a link to our Google Drive page. So if you want to look back at any of these slides, we'll have that uploaded there as well. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for attending. We appreciate it, and Mercer County appreciates your business and potential business. So we will see you all very soon. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you.